If you are a brand that's looking for a creator or an influencer, you should find people who align with your mission and values first to tie in something, because that allows you to go smaller but still create a massive amount of output ultimately.
I don't care how many followers you have. I literally tell creators on call or influencers on calls when they're like showing me how many followers and everything they have. I'm like, I don't care about COVID. Those are all inflated numbers. I have 1 million followers. Well, yeah, 85% of them came prior to 2021 or 2022. Those lemons have already been squeezed. How many new lemons have you brought onto your channel in the past 6 months? And that's all I care about. Distribution on organic social isn't true distribution.
Amir, say that again. What is he?
Huh?
What is he?
Professional pull-outer.
Yeah. He likes to pull out last minute and go to the airport.
Yeah, we were all leaving tomorrow morning, but now
I was too.
Well, yeah, but now if we don't finish this pod in the next hour, you're gonna be late for your flight.
I wouldn't worry about it.
I would be.
I like how he's so
I have a funny feeling he's gonna come back like he did in Dallas.
There are a lot of storms going on right now.
I honestly wouldn't mind.
Well, then why are you booking it?
Yeah,
I have a busy weekend. It's my wife's birthday that I already missed.
All right, you ready to shoot this pod,
Let's
dude?
do it.
Let's do this.
Get your phone out there.
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the awesome pod where we talk a lot. E-com is the path that we walk a lot. From 4 point of views when we're talking shop. Amir from the agency and Jimmy from SAS. John has an Android, but give him a pass. Cause he's an operator building brands like a carpenter. And that's Brian, he is the marketer. Like I said, this the awesome pod where we talk a lot. E-com is the path that we walk a lot. From 4 point of views when we're talking shop.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Awesome Pod, a show about perspective from the eyes of an agency, SaaS operator, and a marketer focused on the D2C, e-commerce, and retail space. All right, let me go ahead and start off, kick this off with some introductions. John Roman, Android Love and Survival King. What's up, John? How you doing?
Good.
Yeah. Amir Grasinich, Mr. Mayor of Chicago, Prince of Bosnia. Hey, you're going to Bosnia soon, right?
yeah,
Are you going to go around and like wear the Prince hat around or something?
crown. It's not a hat.
Oh, I don't know. Whatever. I mean, I assume that it's like a Burger King hat, like, because that's as loose as my titling is for you.
No, I don't plan to.
You're at the early days when we gave you that nickname. You said that you'd be embarrassed to walk around. Are you gonna walk around proudly now?
No.
I like his voice crack.
We haven't had royalty in a few hundred years, I think now.
It's very cyclical.
Very cyclical, generational.
And then we've got Brian McDonald, the self-proclaimed funniest dude on LinkedIn. Dude, we got another fun topic. I know last one was good, but you ready for this?
What do we got?
We're talking creators, man. I know. All right.
Why'd you ask?
Why'd you ask? And he's got his fancy Commerce Roundtable shirt on. And my name is Jimmy Cam. I'm the moderator, the brain, the man of the people, and the email dude here. And today, if you enjoy our podcast, first things first, if you haven't subscribed, jump over to awesomepod.com and subscribe to our newsletter so you can get unfiltered hot takes each and every week. And if you want to hang out with us in real life and you've been enjoying this pod and want to find out where you can learn more about us, well, we've got this cool event called Commerce Roundtable in Miami. April 25th is the next one. We do it twice a year. This one will have about 240 people, direct to consumer, enterprise, and mid-market. CommerceRoundtable.com. Grab your tickets right now. All right, guys. Today, we're diving into the creators economy, and it's a massive impact on e-commerce. I think not only just e-commerce, but business as well. Influencers are no longer just endorsing products, but they're actually creating their own brands. And I know that this has been a hot take that's been on the internet, basically that creators are now going to be like the future. Like it was like, what did they say? Like founders used to look for creators and now creators are becoming founders ultimately. And I think that's, it's pretty interesting. They're building brands, they're creating community, they're reshaping the way we think about what marketing and commerce could really be. So in this episode, I want to explore how influencers are changing the game of e-commerce and what a successful influencer partnership and what the future holds for the creator community. So let's define and talk about the role of influencers in this evolving space, because I think the influencers have changed more and more lately. So let's start there. Like when I say influencer to you, what do you think about, Brian?
I think about someone that is influencing their followers to do what they do.
Yeah, and that's different from an affiliate, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and why are they? Why do you say it's different?
So an affiliate to me is someone that is tied to the brand
They either are a past customer, they are an extension of your brand's voice, versus an influencer is more of a channel and financial
It's a creator. This is
outlook.
what they do as a
Correct,
business, right?
correct.
Like this is their thing.
Yes.
Yeah. John, how do you look at that? Creator, influencer versus an affiliate, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about in a previous pod, the lines do blur a
Yeah.
little bit, right? So you do have influencer, you do have affiliate, and you do have creator. And there's certain aspects of each that are all very independent and very different from each other. But then there's so much similarities.
Yeah, because a
between them
creator
all.
can be just creating content, doesn't always have to be pushing product either, right? And an influencer is trying to push a product or service, but an affiliate is doing it in a different way. A lot of time.
Yeah, but to that point, against that, let's use the best example, Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is a creator,
Correct.
but Mr. Beast has stood up multiple businesses now
In his
into
own
his
business,
audience.
yeah.
So it's not that clean
It
cut.
isn't clean cut, but creator, influencer, and affiliate are three separate things. Ultimately, is what we're learning here. And I think what we're talking about today is about the creator side of things. I think that creators are on the rise. They're starting to say, "I don't want to be an influencer anymore. I don't want to be an affiliate anymore. I'm just going to go build my own brands."
Sure.
And that's what Mr. Beast is. A perfect example of that happening. Why do you think that's happening? What do you think is causing the shift that's creating there?
It's honestly quite simple. So, I've talked about this before, but over the last several years, it's slow and steady. It's where consumers and consumer behavior, they want to feel a connection with the brands they purchase from. And that kind of goes in hand with content and community. And creators are already building that with their content.
Yeah.
So it's just a very natural progression. Just makes sense.
What about you, Amir?
I maybe push back on Mr. Beast not being
Push.
an influencer. Here's my thing. I think he started out as a creator. Like he created content. And when he created a following who was very dedicated to him, he
Trust,
transitioned to being an influencer and a creator. I think you can be an influencer and a creator, but not all creators are influencers.
I
Okay,
like that
but
take.
can you really be an influencer for your own stuff?
Yeah.
Or are you just a
Yeah,
creator with
definitely you
or are
can.
you a creator with a brand?
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, this is the difference. Is it when a creator has a brand, sometimes they're like, they don't push their product, they just show it off or they talk about it, where an influencer is actively trying to push the product, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference
Yeah.
there. I think there is a difference.
Anytime he's doesn't position it as influencing
But he doesn't have to.
because he's a creator.
No. No.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, okay, so if you watch a Mr. Beast thing today, do you actually see him talk about his products? He doesn't talk about his products.
He occasionally does.
He does,
Occasionally.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess he seeds it a little bit, but he doesn't like
He makes creative with Gordon Ramsay for his chocolate bars.
yeah,
did a
but he
segment
doesn't go
with
off
them.
and be like, "Go buy Feastable."
Correct. He's
you
not
know?
he's not
But-
pushing the traditional influencer playbook. He's a creator.
He's not a high impression influencer. He's a low, because when he launches a product, it's a big reveal, and the millions of people that follow him only need to be exposed to it once. Because
he's a creator.
no, but I'm thinking he's also an influencer. I 100% agree
No, I
with
know,
you.
but you need to provide actual proof of being an influencer.
So for
because everything you're saying is validating that I'm correct, that he's just a creator.
No, so let me put it this way. So Mr. Beast goes and hangs out with other celebrities.
Yep.
And those other celebrities introduce products as he's on their videos. Now, Mr. Beast is not actively selling that product, but now that he's entertaining it and engaging with that product, his followers are exposed to it. So he's passively influencing it. The thing is, in my opinion, compared to a lot of these celebrities, especially in the health and beauty industry, Mr. Beast does it very tastefully. He exposes the product to to his audience, but he doesn't say, "Oh, look at my skin," or whatever the case is. He has the fun with the product, hangs
But
out.
he
gets paid for it though.
The products he's doing are either his products or he's calling out sponsorships, which is a sponsorship that paid the exuberant amount of money.
No, sponsorship. Not that much sponsorship.
When does he influence product? Give me an example.
There's that crypto coin, that one ice coin that he had a whole issue with.
He had the coin. I mean, we worked with CrunchLab as an example.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the deals with or anything like that, but I'm assuming if he went into Crunch Labs and had all the fun, all his followers.
So I don't think he. So I know the Crunch Lab situation. That was like collaboration, like a collaborative thing. Like there wasn't money being exchanged.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Then I don't view it as influencer if you're not benefiting from it.
Well, is it bartering
Right?
maybe?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't
Okay,
know.
so whether I'm right or it's a middle ground and the lines are just super blurred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're super
I
blurred.
mean, even Lunchly, the recent one, that's like what Jake Paul
Yeah.
and Mr. Beast and
It's
someone else.
a collab. They're
Yeah,
all
it's a
they're all part of
collaboration.
it. Yeah, it's what Prime and Feastables.
And Feastable with the combination, they all own this thing called Lunchly now, right? Which is the whole.
So, question for you guys
like
in here.
Lunchable, like attacking
attack,
Lunchables.
Kylie, she creates a bunch of content. Kylie has her brand. Kylie, through creation of her content, pushes her brand and influences people to buy it.
So she was
She was
pseudo
definitely an
celebrity,
influencer.
right?
Yeah.
Pseudo celebrity influencer, but then became
Is she a creator though? I don't even think she's a creator.
I wouldn't know. She's not.
She's an influencer.
Yeah.
That's it. She's never been a creator.
she doesn't create content.
Yeah, she doesn't create content. A creator creates content.
She's a pseudo celebrity influencer.
Yeah, she just posts pictures of herself and like random little stuff. That's
Yeah.
not really being a creator, is it? Creator is out creating community and entertainment. I mean, well, not always. I guess
Well,
influencers.
All right, here's a good. Here's.
Again,
let me break it.
gets so
It's
blurred.
not
Yeah.
straightforward.
Here's a good thing. I started following a couple months ago this guy Hubs Life, HUBS.life on Instagram, and
Okay.
he
Is it better than Jersey Joe or whatever?
Jersey Jerry.
Yeah.
Hey, you didn't
No,
really
I
like his
didn't
stuff.
care for that.
Okay.
You follow some strange people, Brian.
So Hub's Life, literally, he started making content during COVID and he filmed his everyday 9 to 5. He created content based off of his day to day. Okay. Every single day he created a video and posted it. Every day people started following him. Next thing you know, he has 1 million followers. Now what he does is he partners with Bud Light, for an example. And in his video, he makes Bud Light a part of his routine that's captured in the
His
video.
9 to 5.
Right? Huh?
Product
His
placement.
9 to 5 involves Bud Light.
yeah, this is a
At
problem.
the end, like he comes home from work,
Okay.
he like mows the lawn, and then he like, and then in one of the videos he like reached in a cooler and
Okay.
grabbed it, right? So it was like a part of the video. It wasn't like,
Smashed at work.
I mean, look, if you're getting paid enough, I mean,
but it was a paid sponsored post,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So he's not influencing a person to purchase the Bud Light. It's just included in his content.
product placement.
It's product
But it's
placement and
passive
creator,
influence.
right? But yes, it's passive influence,
Which is a validation for what you were saying earlier.
So
Yeah.
that is more so aligned with Mr. Beast, even though Mr. Beast will make content around new product drops and he'll do collabs with Gordon Ramsay was a perfect example with the chocolate bars where he did a taste test comparison against other chocolate bars. So like that stuff's more influencer driven, but a majority of his content is all placed and utilized in the content that he makes versus an influencer, people that we like to work with. It's someone with their dog. Here's how Oma's Pride changed my dog's life,
More commercial.
right? And they talk about the
but it's not
product
a
and its
commercial.
benefits.
It is, but it's not. It's like, yeah, it's definitely a blurred line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really have a good answer to this.
Yeah, so
like you
okay,
guys.
I'll give we beat this a little bit of a dead horse, but I have another example. So
Beat another horse.
yeah, so Doug Mercado from you saw him on Battle Games.
Yes.
He's
The knife guy. He always
Yeah.
goes like this.
yeah. So we went up to Brandon went up to his place in upstate New York, and they for the day just filmed content, just literally having fun with knives. We both post it collaborative. Neither are pushing a product or even talking about a product. We're just creating content, but it's collaborative. Instagram shared on both channels.
Yep.
So we're introing the audiences to each other.
Creative collaboration.
Yeah, and both are top of funnel for both of the things everybody's selling. So what is that? Is that creators? Is that influencing? Is
I
it
think
passive
that's-
influencing?
I think that's creators.
That
Makes
are
sense.
Passively influencing.
But they're not influencing if they're not promoting anything. Maybe
But
that's what it comes down to is if they're promote. Well, yeah, I guess.
But
they
all of our
promote-
content at the end of the day is
is
us
promoting, yeah.
promoting.
No, but I think it's cross collaboration, it's creation, but I don't think the intent on any of these guys is like, oh, let's sell this product to your audience. But I think because they have such gravitas, people are just gonna be like, oh, what
It's
is
a good
that?
word.
It's fancy.
Yeah, what does that even mean? You're just making shit up now?
Gravis.
You're just making stuff up now.
No, that's a
No,
real
it's a
word.
That's a
It's
word?
a real word.
What does it
Absolutely.
mean then?
Gravitas is when you have this aura that you don't have to necessarily do anything special to attract attention to somebody, to yourself. You just make it look way bigger than it actually
Okay.
is.
Look,
Nacelle is here with new AI tech. Read your customers' minds, isn't that the best? Turn browsers into buyers, collect your checks, showcase what they want through the product rec. Not your average, you may also like. Tracks the full customer journey on your site. From click to checkout, getting it right from click to checkout, day or night. Nacelle makes your store smarter than ever. They personalize lives, isn't that clever? Providing smart segmentation that sells better. Deliver perfect picks to shoppers forever. Yeah. Visit nacelle.com now.
I love where this direction is going. Collaboration, essentially. How do brands collaborate with creators then? How do you think about this? Like, not influencers, not like hiring them for a one-time promotion, paying them. I feel like creators are like locking in a collaboration. That's actually a good way to think about it. A creator will often go with a brand and collaborate and connect with them and sell, influence, and do all that stuff. But it's really a collaboration because it's a long-term effort. Influencers are often paid as a one-time aspect, right? There's a difference there. And so maybe that's the fine line that we think about a little bit. When you think about brands, like how do you guys as a brand, technically you have a creator, but it's like, how do you guys as a brand, how did you guys end up collaborating with Doug?
We met Doug originally at a knife conference.
Okay.
And
so it's just
then-
like a business networking event.
Yeah, business networking. His manufacturer that helps him with manufacturing helps us with manufacturing.
So there was a commonality
mutual
behind it.
connections. Yeah.
Okay, so your network is your friend again, as always we talk about.
Yeah.
How else would people do it? Like, you guys have influencers that promote you. I don't think you have creators that collaborate. You guys, not you, but Nina's the creator technically in your business. So how do you look at you guys when you guys are like thinking about getting creators to collaborate with you?
It's not like it's not as easy as a company that can just sort of like seed product and hope for the best, because there's such a large educational component behind our food that a lot of people either need to be raw educated, currently feed our product, and there's
a qualification.
There's a qualification, right? Because we don't sell a product, right? We're 99% of D2C just sells products. That doesn't, realistically, nothing's going to change the outcome of the quality of life that most people sell online, where we do. So we can take it a little bit more cautiously when we work with someone, because we know the return on them is going to be so big in comparison to seeding 5,000 creators. Because over the long term, being a subscription brand and being a high ticketed AOV item, even these creators, like we're talking,
Well, not creators, influencers.
Influencers.
Yeah.
When we hop on these calls, it's like, holy smokes, they have a few thousand followers and we're paying them $1,000 or $2,000 a month for having a small following, but they have such strong educational and influence components behind their stories, right? I see all the top paid affiliate influencers that we work with are capturing all this through their Instagram stories.
Sure.
It's not even the posts. So they do a lot of educational swipe throughs, carousels, stories, and they're educated in the product or the actual section of that sector of raw pet food. So, we're in a fortunate situation where we don't need, ultimately we would love thousands of them, but it's not that big of enough space to get thousands of them, but working with the right ones and slowly growing that channel, because we know that most of the folks that they're going to influence are going to become, 10-year subscription consumers for us, and ultimately make us $30,000 per consumer.
So you've been identifying the right influencers that align with your mission and values ultimately.
Yeah.
And there might be micro influencers, but they're not big, but they have such a good audience because you guys align so well that it works really well. So it sounds like, number one, like if you are a brand that's looking for a creator or an influencer, you should find people who align with your mission and values first to tie in something, because that allows you to go smaller, but still create a massive amount of output ultimately.
For sure.
That's really interesting. And then, when you think about it from that long-term effect versus the one-time effect, how do you guys kind of approach that?
In regards to,
Like, how do you guys decide if it's a long-term collaboration, like a real creator collaboration?
Sure.
Versus just a one-time influencer?
Yeah, so we actually tried some of those with bigger affiliates or influencers in the past, before I got there and when I got there, and we run them through like 3-month trials. So I don't sign on any one big contracts until we get some data, and then now that we have a pool of creators, especially on YouTube, believe it or not, I know John's had success on there, but we're finding that there's an opening on YouTube, and we work with someone. We paid him when I got there like $10,000 a month for a year. Yeah, they had 4 million followers across YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And they worked with them for a few months. And then in return, they were like, wow, this is great. She's doing great. The issue was, at the time, especially a year and a half ago, raw pet food has such a small TAM still in comparison to everything else, that there's, once you squeeze a lemon, and a lot of creators, influencers, and social media people out there that have had large audiences since pre-COVID, they've squeezed all their lemons. There's no more lemons to squeeze. Now I like working with people. Show me your past 6 months of your social or 12 months of your social. I don't care how many followers you have. I literally tell creators on call or influencers on calls, when they're like showing me how many followers and everything they have, I'm like, I don't care about COVID. Those are all inflated numbers. I have 1 million followers. Well, yeah, 85% of them came prior to 2021 or 2022. Those lemons have already been squeezed. How many new lemons have you brought onto your channel in the past 6 months? And that's all I care about in comparison to the bigger creators in this space.
Well, this has also changed anyways.
I like new
Brian.
lemons.
Brian, like something that I've noticed and I've seen in this market as someone who's doing kind of like the B2B influencer space a bit, is that it doesn't really actually matter how many followers you have anymore. It's become less of a number.
Yeah.
What really matters is the number of impressions you get, the engagement you get ultimately. You'll see creators that have way smaller audiences on the top line. I mean, Almost Pet or Almost Pride is definitely an example of this, but like you'll see a small number, but massive engagement as a thing. And the people just aren't following as much. I don't know why.
No, they're not.
It's weird, but
there is. But I agree. But there's still a correlation.
There's a correlation.
As our follower count has gone up, our baseline of minimum
For sure.
views has gone up.
Sure.
For
But
sure.
I'm saying it's not as important anymore like
No.
before. Like you could have just a couple thousand followers and still output as a tremendous number because you've got great content.
Yeah.
And it's there. All right. I want to kind of position this real quick. Do you guys think that creators are the future of building brands? Like if you think about creators who have distribution locked down, they figured out how to get distribution, building a community, and now they're starting to think about selling products. Instead of going to sell and being an influencer, selling other third people products, they start wanting to sell their own products. Is that the future, you think?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah?
So a couple of years ago, just doing random podcasts, people always ask, well, what are you looking at as far as, other leaders in your space to get ideas to emulate? And a couple of years ago, I started saying the Nelk Boys of the world, the Mr. Beast of the world, these creators. The reality is, if I'm going to start another business, which with certainty I will at some point, I'm taking it the creator approach first. I'm building content and community before the product. That's
Building the audience,
I'm building the audience.
following,
I'm building the following
then
before
launch
the
with.
product.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to my audience. I'm understanding.
Because
They're
you
going
guys
to
went
tell
the
me.
other way, technically, with Battle Box,
Of course,
right?
we had a business, and then we
You tapped
bolted
into
on
it, yeah.
content.
But here's the thing, where I think where people miss the mark is these creators, in a lot of cases, are not actually building brands. They're licensing their name to operators.
Correct.
And that's all. It's like Mr. Beast, he had done the burger.
Yeah.
And that fell apart because there's a bunch of issues, quality issues, whatever, and he pulled back.
And he got rid of Reed after all those years.
I'm sorry?
Reed was
Oh.
Reed. He ran the entire leg. He ran the businesses.
Yeah.
He was his
But they all-
agent / everything.
But it was all licensed deals.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, I think
Prime is very, very similar.
yeah, it's a licensed deal with multiple creators, but I think it's going to continue to go that way. I think for creators to build their brands, which I think they have the distribution for it, I think the lemon is not worth the squeeze because so much more goes into it. Whereas like, hey, here's my likeness. You have the facilities that
Well, the smart ones are going to find the operators that can do the business correctly.
But it's still a higher risk than just giving somebody, hey, here's the terms and to using my name. I want 20% of sales. Whatever happens, that's on you. It becomes a lot easier. That's what majority of celebrities do. I mean, like Rihanna as an example, she's a very few exceptions, but it all becomes like large operators.
Yeah, I mean, she's not running.
She's not running.
She's not running
megastars, though.
Fenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are mega stars though. Like,
Yeah.
like you start trimming that back. Let's get realistic of like a creator that's got 100,000 followers, right? That's a realistic number. They're not famous enough for these brand deals. They're not big enough for these creator deals that you're talking about.
Yeah, they're not going to
collaboration
get a
deals.
license.
So they have two opportunities. They could either go influence third-party products and just make payment per promotion, or they can go create their own brand and they can create a real business around it, right? To me, the big thing that I think about as you're talking about this, and I said distribution because I mentioned it always, is I believe that creators have figured out distribution, which is traffic, web traffic, community. It's the hardest thing to solve in a business. It actually is.
It's a new organic.
Yeah, well, not only is it organic, it's not even talking about organic, Mary. It's just getting traffic is the hardest thing you can do.
Yeah.
Everything else is easy compared to getting traffic, in my humble opinion.
No, I'm talking about
agree.
in 96, 97, 98, if you were soandso.com, you ranked first on all these search engines because you had a domain. I think with creators, that's what's happening with social platforms.
Yeah, it's the SEO of social media,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. That's what I mean. So like that distribution, the free traffic, it's earned traffic.
It's earned traffic.
Yeah.
It's not free.
Yeah, it's earned traffic. But I mean, like, they don't have to worry about acquisition costs in a sense that a regular brand does.
It still do.
It
You
is.
still have to create the content.
It does,
So that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
acquisition cost.
But I'm saying they start creating content usually for other purposes, out of enjoyment and whatever, and then they eventually take off.
Sure.
And then the monetization starts.
But so the question is, do you believe that more of these creators will start creating their own brands versus going off and being an influencer?
I think a lot more will try it, but I don't think majority will be successful.
I mean, the majority of businesses aren't successful.
Yeah, I know, but
So
I think it's
that's
going to be even
anything.
lesser because I think what happens with creators is they'll be able to squeeze that lemon in the beginning and monetize their
And
traffic.
then they're done.
And then when it comes to regular acquisition, when the lemon is squeezed, that's when it becomes.
Lot
So
of-
you're
lot of
saying they
lemon
won't be able
talk.
to scale ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah, because ultimately too, like if you have 4 million followers, you probably have maybe 100,000 people that are engaged. From that, you have a 3 to 5% conversion rate. You've squeezed that lemon, so your 4 million follower base. Would you sell a couple
But it's not
$1,000
just that,
worth
though.
of?
Everything else that expands long tail with your content that you're putting out.
Yeah, but think about this now. How many creators are we talking about now that have come after COVID?
1, 2, 3 into the fold. Guess who it is? Omnisenders at the door. Tools that'll make your brand break through. Pretty damn awesome, just ask the crew. Trusted by over 125,000, 5,800 reviews, you can count it. Go ahead and try it like Elf on the Shelf. The results you'll get will speak for themselves. Do their best to impress with their SMS. Do their best to address an email address. So forget juggling apps, this ain't a circus. Omnisend was built just for you with a purpose. So what are we doing? Why the delay? Head to omnisend.com today. Hey, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of creators that continue.
I can't name one famous one.
Why?
Can we?
Vexbolt. Yeah.
And then everybody left him, and now
I know,
but
but
he's back up again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like your
just said-
Logan Pauls of the world, your Mr. Beast
You
of the
mean
world.
large influencers?
Your
like
large,
that.
yep.
It is becoming more far. And
It's
few
so
in
hard.
between.
It's so hard now to grow on social.
So it's
So
interesting. Some validation for what you're saying. So before pre-COVID, when we first identified this whole creator phenomenon, we did subscription boxes for country music artists.
Yep.
So Brantley Gilbert, Lauren Elena were the first two we launched with, and we had that initial. So basically, we ran the entire business minus the marketing pushing, which that fell on them because they have the audience, and we saw that initial pop, the squeezing of the lemons, if you will, and then no matter how much additional content they put out,
Just couldn't do it.
we were not acquiring enough for it
But-
to even.
and
This
that
is what I'm
Sure.
saying though. Like in this day and age, a creator, if they continue to push, I guess your question is what you guys are saying is people hit ceilings ultimately, and this might just be a fire starter than a fire go. I don't know what the word is, like a continued
I know
fire.
what you mean.
Right? Like this may be a mechanism to create a fire, but the money outcome could be better potentially than an influencer deal, which are more far and few in between. Right? I think it's interesting. I do think that creators will continue to work, and I think that you can't stop creating just because you started creating a business. But I actually think that creators are the future of businesses, just because they've got distribution solved at the organic level. And we learned a long time ago, a good organic business is one of the most powerful ways to grow a business.
The only way I think these like smaller creators can work, and I work with she was ultimately a creator, now she runs a very successful business, Melissa. She wrote blogs for what's it called Circuit the printer that you mentioned earlier.
Oh, Cricket.
Cricket, yeah. So she partners with all these printers and everything, and she basically teaches people how to use them, how to be efficient at them and everything. So she wrote blogs, and out of nowhere, it exploded. She became a creator, and then she was like, how do I monetize this? I think the only way they might be able to monetize these creators if it's a digital product. Because I think when it comes to inventory scale and everything else, it just takes so much effort. I mean, we argued earlier, like I don't think I would have the capacity to do what John does day to day. It is inventory levels, leveraging debt, like all of that stuff. Like I don't think I'm capable of doing it. What Adam does, what you do.
But yeah, I get what you're trying to say, but you're not a creator technically.
I know I'm not, but
Okay.
but I'm saying a lot of these guys, they're very good at creating, but when it comes to like
Running the business.
this country
Would this
people,
not just be good partnerships or
Yeah.
good co-founders together? Like,
Could.
hey, this guy is the creator. He's got a great following. You focus on distribution and creating. I'll create the business and I'll operate the business and make sure that the fundamentals.
Which is I think how it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You've got to think like that.
Yeah. 100%.
yeah, because like even the people you partnered with, like what I'm saying is they started that on their own. They had all these startup costs. You squeeze the lemon, and then everything stops. You're in big trouble.
Nope,
Yeah,
and we did. We had to divest.
Also, people also have to remember that having followers on social media is not the same distribution correlation between having that same amount of distribution information on email, SMS, website traffic, right? Because ultimately, people with, like I said, 1 million people that they can distribute to, maybe a eighth or a tenth of them may see the product,
And they don't have that.
and yeah, so distribution on organic social isn't true distribution.
This is true, and there's a niche of what it might be. If you're too broad, for example, you can't sell a broad audience products as easily.
What would you rather do? Send an email to a million people, or have a creator post a video to 1 million followers?
Send an email
to 1 million
all day
people.
long.
All day long.
Like no brainer.
No brainer.
But I'll tell you, when we did the launch with a few celebrities, like somebody as popular as Billie Eilish,
But
to
you're
Mark
going
Kroger.
really spectrum, like big,
No,
you
I know. But I'm just saying it's like
yeah, it's
just,
like the Taylor Swifts of the world.
yeah. I'm just saying like if we're talking about 100,000, yes. But I'm saying some of these larger creators.
Yeah, but that's so far and few between.
she-
Yeah.
And they
when
were all
she-
famous before they
when
became
she,
a creator.
when she
Yeah.
launched the email series for the perfume, she was top 5 female music acts, arguably top 5 musical
She was
acts.
top,
Remember-
potentially top.
I remember I talked about this
Top 5,
before,
sure.
with in the past, right? I helped Kanye West in the Super Bowl last year, right? We helped him launch with their product on email. He was already hated. He had an angry thing. The man did $70 million still.
Yeah.
Just think about that. It's insanity at $20
At $20 a pop.
a product, right? Dude, when you're at that just micro, and he's not even a creator. I wouldn't even consider him a creator. He's just an artist. He's a celebrity, dude.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a celebrity and a creator, 100%. And I think that's what's one
Yeah,
thing.
that's the fourth
yes.
bucket. The
Yeah,
mega
that's
mega
the bucket.
star.
It's celebrity, creator,
They're-
influencer,
yeah, they're in their own little-
affiliate.
Yes.
They're in their
That's-
own little
It's
world.
almost like a thing.
Yeah,
An affiliate
pyramid.
is just like pushing any product they can to make any money. Influencers are getting paid to promote the product, but they don't care how much it sells. A creator is tying into a collaboration, and then a celebrity's just got a little bit of everything, and they can do
Yeah.
whatever the heck they want.
Yeah.
I think that's the definition
the-
of how
that's
we
the
look
pyramid,
at it.
yeah.
That's
That's
the
good
pyramid.
breakdown.
Pyramid,
Alright.
like,
In
the
the
food, like the
Palisades.
food pyramid.
That's okay. Like a fool. All right. Last piece here before we jump into John's game here. Let's talk about a piece of advice. I always like to give advice. I'm not going to go to creator because I think we've beat that. Influencer. What's a piece of advice you can talk to a brand who's looking to get into influencer market?
Yeah, I would treat, if you were to look at your internal like marketing team or sales team, for an example, I would try to mirror the people that you look for to partner with your affiliate influencer program. You would hire them in-house. And I think when I see people that, like Nina outreaches to, or people that buy from us and literally ask us, hey, I would love to promote your product, and they already have purchased from you and talk about you in their organic videos, I like looking at it in that way where I would feel comfortable bringing them in for an interview, because that's how much they already love our product. That's how much they know about it. And the are, like I said, that you brought up too, is it's very important when you start these influencer and affiliate programs to align your goal with them to the goal of the business.
Yeah.
And if you're not aligned that way and you're just looking at it from a monetary aspect, it may not fit long term. So I think you have to be aligned with what you're trying to do. Always think inning 9 and not inning 1, which we all live in, and getting everyone aligned that you work with to make that happen, because most people think of these programs as just a monetary.
Yeah, they think of it as like I buy it and then traffic comes.
Yep.
The reality you're saying is it needs to be a big, deeper partnership with alignment. What about you, man? What kind of brand advice can you give?
And this is just me talking with the brands because we haven't tapped into this space in a long time. I would say bigger is not better. I see like micro influencers seem to be like go-getters, and they'll put a lot more into producing a better output for you.
Okay.
So my wife says.
Jesus. All right.
So I was gonna say the same, but I'm gonna try to put a little bit more color and context around it. That's what your wife said.
got that?
Yeah,
I got it real fast.
So piggybacking on that, for 95% of brands, you want to see a very clear, definable ROI on your influencer efforts. I think that's a fair assumption. And the way to accomplish that 100% of the time is with micro influencers. You're typically not having to actually pay them cash. You're typically exchanging product for the content, and it's a much easier path towards ROI. And you and I have gone down these rabbit holes of you look at these KPIs, these metrics when you look at influencers on their engagement levels, and the engagement ratios with successful micro influencers is wildly higher than the engagement levels on mega influencers or celebrities or pseudo celebrities.
Interesting.
So micro is definitely the way to go, because with a large influencer, the reality is you're not going to see a easy ROI.
Interesting.
It's just the math isn't there, because so much of it is there's the obvious transactional value, and with any kind of influencer and content, there's that indirect sales that occurs, and brand awareness, which, as we know, is very, very tough to actually make black.
So I'm going to kind of turn on the lens of like the B2B side, because I run growth influencers and different things in the world. Small guys are great, but and they're niche and they may drive some reality. But when I think about an influencer, it's not just about the direct ROI, it's awareness, right?
Correct.
Building your name brand and building a repeatability. No matter what I see with the smaller guys that I have and that we represent, the bigger ones make so much more of an impact in the market. And it's because they've got a bigger net and bigger people to reach out to. They may not drive as much sales, but the recognition that you can drive out of it. Because to me, like, an influencer is one thing. Like, I think it's important that you're getting them to push your product out there. But it's not just about getting your products, really getting your name out there and getting them aware. Because just like everything else, I'm sure consumers the same way as B2B, and I'm actually not guessing. I know it is. It takes multiple touch points. It's not just one time. They see the product, they hear about it somewhere else, they see it somewhere else, they touch it here, they talk about it here. One thing after another has to occur. But what I've learned about larger influencers, at least in the B2B space especially, is that credibility is faster to come than a smaller person. If Joe Schmo, a little LinkedIn person, promotes a product, that was okay. But when Joe Big, who's got a big name behind themselves, or like has a good influence, big following, and when they say something, people listen. And it's just different. And maybe this is a B2B thing potentially, but I can't see how the human consumer is different, because at the end of the day, the consumer is the consumer, B2B or B2C, it's still the end same consumer.
Well, so I think some of the reason is the fluff of the COVID period.
Yeah.
The fluff of
So you're saying
bots
basically a lot of people have numbers because they were fluffed up, but if you look at micro today, that's really where the same level they're at. Yeah. That could be part of it. I think
maybe not the same level. And I think what you said, I think there's some validity on the consumer side of that. But the problem with brand awareness and that type of stuff, it's still very hard to measure and correlate back. And if you're looking for a very clear path of ROI, you don't take brand awareness.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, this is the whole, like, what's the ROI of your social media?
My wife actually has a really good thought on this too. Like, all the people that when she buys like new clothes and stuff, especially when she was pregnant, she bought from like these like mom creators, and because they were like her. when she sees, it's a different era now, these celebrities that promote something, my wife's like, oh, they're just doing it because they're, making money. Like, they're not, I don't look like her. Like, I don't whatever like her. They're just doing that.
But she was doing it when it was.
She's like, she like follows. If this lady that she follows told her to like go walk outside naked at midnight because you can lose weight, my wife would be out there at 11:55 p.m. waiting for the clock to turn midnight, sitting there naked in the middle of the street because she said that Lori, a lady from Iowa who has 8,000 followers, says it'll help you lose 10% body fat. Like that's the reality in which we're living in on the adoption of these micro influencers.
There you go.
There's no credibility to the average person anymore I think that gap is getting smaller, which is why people don't go to the movies anymore. No one cares about the movies. People would rather watch YouTube videos,
All right. Let's finish this thing off. We've got a little game called Guess That Business with John Roman. John, take it away, buddy.
Guess the biz.
Workspace 6, why struggle alone? Talk to other founders outside of your home. Communities thrive, so slide open your phone. Help you make strides, sit on top of the throne. Oh, whoa, solve your biggest challenges. Oh, whoa, help your checks and balances. Oh, whoa, this is how I salvage it. This a major key alert, just like DJ Khaled is. Apply for a buck, be a part of the workspace. 6:30, helping on your worst days. Surrounded by 9 figures, not in third place. Take a new direction like my home's on reverse plays. Yeah, join today, workspace6.io. Tell them Awesome sent you.
Okay, so quick recap. I'll present 3 hints about a specific business. You guys, my co-hosts, will try to guess what they are.
Start shouting names.
The guesses, in theory, will go harder to easier and easier to get. And then depending on the brand and their success or lack of success, we might just offer some high-level coaching.
Love it.
Unsolicited advice. So, starting us off.
OnlyFans.
Party City.
First hint. Their loyalty app is one of the most downloaded food apps worldwide.
Chipotle.
Yelp.
No?
DoorDash.
No guess? Okay. All right. Moving on.
McDonald's.
They openly admitted their product was subpar in a very bold ad campaign. This is about 15 years ago.
Domino's.
Nailed it.
Wow, Jimmy.
The last hint
loyalty.
was...
You know, the loyalty of Domino's is insane. I know people that are like great foodies and everything, and they're like, I love Domino's. I'm like, why? I don't get. They're like, because they offered me a free pizza the next time I buy one.
The Domino's pizza guy. Do you guys follow him? He films all the pizzas he makes at Domino's every day. It's actually pretty cool.
The last hint was now a tech company as much as a pizza chain with one of the most sophisticated delivery systems in the industry.
Yeah.
So
Domino's,
in 2009 they called out. They said, we have
a shit product,
crappy pizza.
Yeah.
And they did. That campaign converted me from Pizza Hut.
Wow.
And I've been with Domino's since. And I don't know if I'm how bougie I am food wise, but I like good food.
Yeah.
I love Domino's.
Really? Dude, maybe I need to have Domino's again because I don't think I've had it.
Their pan pizza
I haven't had
to
it in
me
a while.
is phenomenal.
I like.
And they handle delivery in house, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe I don't even know if there's a Domino's near me.
There's Domino's everywhere.
Oh, I don't know. All right. Well, thank you for that game, John.
Yep.
Sorry, I've guessed it too fast, but
no, you got that.
What was the last tip? Curiosity.
The last tip, I read it. It was now a tech company as much as a pizza chain.
Oh, I thought you just made that as a statement.
No, with one of the most sophisticated delivery systems in the industry.
I thought he was just making a statement. I thought he was making a statement.
We've been talking about it for 5 minutes.
I know. I thought he was making a statement.
All right, guys.
I think it was a hint.
That is a wrap. Episode 35, The Creator Economy, Building Brands with Influencers. We talked about everything from what the hierarchy might look like, how you might work with them, and we hope you got and learned something new out of this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, or tell a friend, and let us know what you think. Find us on social media, TikTok, X, IG, LinkedIn, YouTube. Just type in AwesomePod to find us. And don't forget to leave us a review on your favorite streaming platform. Remember, we're a video first pod, so we fly location to location. This is our last pod here in Miami here today. we do this for the dynamics. We get to make fun of each other. We laugh. Brian cracks up a lot and makes jokes, all that fun stuff that happens. But if you want the highest quality experience, please jump over to YouTube. That's where you'll find that. And don't forget to subscribe to awesomepod.com to be alerted of new episodes. And of course, get our newsletter with the newest and hottest hot takes. We'll be back next week with episode 36. I call this one the Great Discount Debate. Are discounts killing your brand value? That's our next episode that we have lined up. You guys didn't know that, but I'm letting you guys know now today. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next pod. Point.
Welcome to the Awesome Pod, where we talked a lot. E-com was the path that we walked a lot. But now the question is, will you subscribe or not? Ha!